My sweet and lovely Cancers, this is your horoscope for September 2024. And September will be one of the crucial months of 2024 because we have eclipse in September. And 2 weeks later, another one of the pair we have in October. So these 2 months will be the most important. Now, eclipses usually bring very drastic changes that we never expect, and something that changes our lives once and for all. Usually, we remember the periods when eclipses happen because then we have such like let's say events or people or some things like situations are happening that we will remember forever. Now, in September, we have another two planets that will start a sort of a topic, a theme in your life for the next half year, even more, like to 7 to 8 months. And we will talk about those two planets that will set the tone for upcoming half year until spring, even 2025. Now, let's begin September from the start, where we have new moon. Now, 3rd of September, we have new moon in your house of communications, in your third house. Now, third house is also rules trade and commerce, and something new is there. New moons are all about new beginnings, like if you are planning or thinking to buy something very, let's say, expensive, this new moon will be speaking to you directly about the, thing that you want to buy. Now, new moon will happen at 11 degrees, and those of you who are born around 4th of July, plus or minus 5 days, will be affected the most by this full moon, my sweet Cancers. Now, this full moon will have opposition from Saturn, and Saturn is the planet of restrictions. Saturn, whatever Saturn touches, it restricts it, it makes it smaller, it makes it limited, but it also makes it steady and hardworking, let's say, because Saturn is the planet of work. And Saturn will be situated in your house of travels and all things foreign. Foreign people, foreign countries, documents, and everything related to foreign things. Now, Saturn here, opposing that new moon in your third house, opposition in general, I call it more like a relationship aspect. And it seems like here more of a sort of thing might happen, especially those of you, as I said, who are born around 4th of July, related to relationship status. And especially if you're in the process of, immigrating somewhere or traveling somewhere, or let's say you are going for work to some other country, and now you will get busy with those documents. When this new moon hits, seems like September will start with a lot of documents and errands to fix and run, or maybe apply to some sort of those kind of documents too. But if you're already in the process, then this new moon might indicate that something will be missing there in your application. There might be a need for you to reissue some documents, some papers related to your travel, or to any travel documents or foreign documents, whatever documents that you need in a foreign land, somewhere abroad. And it might indicate also some sort of deficiency there, some sort of communication might be needed to explain the whole situation, maybe the reason why you're traveling and all the stuff. Now, this new moon might be speaking exactly about those things. Now, third house is also all about our siblings. Now, for some of you guys, it might be totally different thing. It might be about your sisters and brothers if you have them. And if you don't, then it might be about your neighbors or your close relatives, because third house rules all those people. This is our inner circle house. Now, it might be it's their situation, your brothers and sisters situation. Let's say if especially they are in the process of immigrating somewhere or traveling, just as simple as travel, or going somewhere abroad, like relocating somewhere because of work or because of they got married, let's say, and now they are moving to their husband's or wife's country or wherever they are, let's say, because Saturn naturally rules your committed partnership house in your chart, my dear Cancers. Now, considering that it's in your 9th house, that person seems like a foreigner, or someone from a different background and culturally speaking. Now, and this new moon comes in and might be also like the situation, as I said, of your siblings or neighbors or some close relatives. And there might be some issues, by the way, within that relationship. Maybe it's between the spouse and your sister, like their spouse and your sister and brother, like your siblings, or something related to the documents and the process of, and in general in their life, something's new coming up, because new moons are all about new things. Now, third house is also about courage. We need to be brave to start something new, like especially when we want to learn something, want to upgrade our skills and all those sort of things. Now, it seems like for you guys, for some of you guys, it might be about studying, especially if you involved in a short-term course. And it seems like if you're not, then you will get involved in these kind of courses. It could be driving lessons, for example, because third house is all about also transportation and any type of transportation. Well, and also it's about short distance travels. It might be that this new moon might set a trend that you need to travel somewhere back and forth, which is very like near, not so far, somewhere which is up to 2 hours by plane or by car. Also, if it's a really let's say it's a course that you are starting, like learning, it seems like you won't like that sort of course, especially if it's a language course, because third house is also all about languages. And if you start set on a path learning a new different like foreign language, it might be for a long term, because Saturn is the planet of time and effort and hard work. And it seems like to master that language, you will have to study hard. And it won't be that easy. You might not be enjoying at the beginning, but believe me, you will be happy that you made an effort. Now, on another note, the ruler of the new moon, Mercury, because new moon is happening in your third house, and third house in your chart is ruled by Mercury, planet of communication and trade. It's currently in your second house of earned income, and it will have very sharp angle from Uranus, planet of surprises and shocking news. Now with Uranus, you never know what is coming up, but Uranus will be situated in your 11th house. Now Uranus went retrograde yesterday on 1st of September. We will talk about it a little bit later. And Mercury is still in the shadow period. It came out from its retrograde recently, and it's getting stronger still, on its way to getting stronger to its normal pace, but not yet there. That's why it's called shadow period, when it's recovering its speed. Now, from its retrograde period. Now, Mercury is also a bit slow, and Uranus is already retrograding, moving backwards. It's already slow. Now, something about past, these two planets are indicating that something's going, also it might be related, to your money situation. This new moon might come in and hit your income situation, and always allow new moons 5 days before and 5 days after to bring the news. Seems like it might be related to your friend, for example, that you will be shocked that your friend is now in urgent, let's say, situation of needing money from you. They might ask help from you, let's say, financial help. Or it might be also a friend's situation that will actually impact you, not necessarily financially, but something there, because Uranus is, it's you never know planet thing, and it might bring something into your life which will shock you at the same time, that will have a power to shake your values, to shake your self-worth, and to also reflect on your self-esteem and what priorities in life you have. Or it might be as direct as material things, like material possessions or your money, let's say, financial thing. And 11th house is also online, everything related to online things like internet here. Now, it might be that be careful around this new moon. Don't get scammed. I don't advise you to buy anything around this new moon or sell, especially online. And if you do, take extra care to check if the website is safe to make the transactions there. Now, but I would like to tell you here about this new moon that, there will be Neptune and Pluto. Those are two karmic planets and heavy planets. Why heavy? Because they move slow. Now, those planets will support that new moon, and also they will try to lessen Uranus's effects, because Neptune will be sending amazing beam to that Uranus, and Pluto will be an amazing angle to that surprise planet. It will try to make it not as much as possible shocking for you. They both will try to do the job for you, and both of them are retrograde, again indicating sort of to the past. They will make the effort to save the day or relationship or whatever is there actually. And it might be, it might be also about a new friend or a new acquaintance that you're going to make around this new moon. Just take extra care before trusting someone. You as Cancer signs, you have extra care when you meet new people, but still around this new moon, take even, double care with whom you are communicating and what they need from you or what you need from them. And Now let's talk about Mars, because Mars will be huge in your life for the next 6 to 8 months. Why? Because on 4th of September, Mars is moving into your sign, my dear Cancer. That's an amazing thing, you need to celebrate, my dear Cancers, because Mars in our signs, in your first house, they give the drive, they give the motivation, they give the desire. You will feel it immediately, because when Mars is in our sign, we are capable of doing everything. And those things and work that you've been postponing will be done in the next half year. Believe me. Now Mars in your first house, will be transiting for that long. Of course, it's unusually long for Mars to be in one sign, but because Mars will be retrograding this year, this is happening, and it will occupy your sign for that long. Now, when Mars moves into your sign, it will activate the half-year topic, because it will come back to your sign on 6th of January, right after New Year, and will leave it only in April. So you see how long months Mars is sort of focusing on you, and universe is trying to tell you something. Now, Mars retrograding happens every 2 years, and Mars naturally rules your 10th house in your chart. Now, 10th house is your career house. It's your, it's that image, what we have in our head of ourselves. And specifically the image that we want to be, the image that we, like, let's say, want to acquire and we want to show to the world. To be precise, actually, the image that we want others to see in us, sort of thing. Now, 10th house is also all about our social status, how much reputation we have, how influential we are. All those things is 10th house. Now, Mars, transiting in your first house, universe is literally trying to tell you something until April. Deal with yourself, because first house is all about me. It's all about our appearance, how we look, our look, and our priorities also, what we believe in, what kind of clothes we wear, what is our fashion, what is our style, and who we are at core. Because first house is all about what others see first in us, when they meet us. And also first house, in a more deeper level, it's our plans, our priorities, our wishes. What kind of a, path we're set on in our life. And more literal way to say that, it might be about your surname and name, how people call you. This is also Mars, a first house. And Mars here indicates that you might be changing something around, let's say, maybe how people call your business. Let's say if you are known as a business owner, or your literal name because you got married or you are getting divorced, you might be changing your surname, or because you just don't like your name anymore. For any reason, there might be some changes happening during Mars traveling in your sign, my dear Cancers. Now, as I said, because it's your Mars rules your career house, it might be, Mars transit indicates that it will be giving you all sorts of lessons, and also like motivation in your desire to think about what you want to do in life. What is your calling of your life, let's say? Like you want to be a doctor, or you want to be whatever you want to do, like maybe a politician or maybe anything, and it doesn't matter what you do now, because it seems like universe is trying to help you to focus exactly on your wishes and dreams of who you want to become. Or maybe there might be some realizations, like let's say whole life you've dedicated to some area in profession. It doesn't matter which. Let's say you're a businessman, but now you want to be, I don't know, architecture or a dancer or a singer. All of a sudden, universe will try you to look inside of who you are actually, and maybe you've forgotten that little yourself, and it will try to bring that inside of you. Now, also Mars in your first house, because it's about social status, here's again, for some of you guys it might be changing. And Mars is very active planet and it seems like it might be that your social status is changing. For example, you are going to maternity leave because you've been employee and now you gave birth, let's say, or giving birth very soon, and then you are becoming a mother or a father. And it doesn't matter which times. It again doubles up your social status, right? 2 times mother or 3 times father, all these things. And it's sort of new social, this kind of name on you. And your status also of your life. You might be on the leave to take care of your baby, or vice versa. You might have been busy with your newborn baby, and now you are going back to work as September hits. It might be that too. And also, social status is all about employment and unemployment. It might be that you will have a pause when Mars moves into your sign. Some of you might quit your job or change your job, and during that period you might be let's say unemployed for some time, and more specifically seems like until when Mars will be retrograding. And you might have plenty of time to think of what you want to do with your life, in terms of your profession, in terms of who you are, how you want to contribute to this bigger society in this lifetime, let's say. And also for some of you guys, it might be, if it's not about your career, if it's not about your name or yourself and appearance, and some of you guys, of course, you will be changing your appearance too, like maybe a new haircut, and even going back to the old haircut because Mars will be retrograding, and again coming back to a new haircut, let's say, new style. And it relates to anything, how you dress, how you look, how you walk, whatever is that in your appearance actually. And also, most of us will be prioritizing between all the things that we have in our life, that is for sure. And for some of you guys, it might be about father's life or your manager's life. Let's say, if it's not about you, Mars will be bringing all the changes through your father's life, or someone who we respect, because 10th house is all about who we respect, and it's in your first house. It might be that, there will be some news about, let's say, your father's life, some situations happening there. It might be you have to take care of him for the next, until April, let's say, or something like, or you might be going back to parents' house, or something. There will be news of your boss and manager. They might need some help. Like you might be, if something's going on in their life, you might be appointed as a, let's say, acting manager or something, that sort of. And as I said, 10th house is also all about influence and all about reputation. It might be either those people's reputation, either yours. There might be some fluctuations happening. And 10th house is all about achievements, all about nominations, titles. You might also receive 1 or 2 titles around this period while Mars will be in your sign. Even some nominations, you might get nominated and receive some sort of recognition for your work done. So this is one of the planets who will set the tone for the next half year, my dear Cancers. Let's see where your mind is going to be in September. On 9th of September, we have Mercury, planet of communication and all the thoughts that is in your head, moving into your house of thoughts and ideas, communication house, 3rd house, where we had new moon. The news of the new moon you might receive by this time, like around 9th of September, because the ruler of that new moon was Mercury, and Mercury moves into your 3rd house. As soon as it hits your 3rd house, the news might come in, of that new moon. And it's pretty busy period will be, because Mercury is very interesting in September. It will change, it will cross 3 areas of your life. So in the beginning of September, it will be busy in your 2nd house. Your mind will be around your resources and financial and energy wise, all the resources. 2nd house is all about resources, even food that we intake, everything, what gives you energy. And when Mercury changes to another area, moves into another area around 10th of September. So it will happen exactly on 9th. So after 9th of September, it will be your 3rd house. You will get all sorts of communication, especially from your siblings, relatives, and neighbors. Quite a lot of chatting. You might get invitations. You might be more sociable around, like for whole September actually. But by the end of September, 26th of September, Mercury will move further into your 4th house. By the end of September, all your mind will be on your family. It doesn't matter, current one or the family that you come from. For some of you guys, it might be about your family members. You will be all busy with their, sort of happenings in the life, like especially with mother, because 4th house is mother, from the parents. Now, for some of you, it might be mother's errands, let's say, or in general, you will be quite chatty with her. Or for some of you, it might be about real estate, for my dear Cancers. Now, some of you might be thinking to buy or sell the real estate, and specific actions and thoughts might happen by the end of September. around those topics. And some of you, if it's not a family and real estate, then it might be immigration, moving somewhere. Like fourth house is wherever we call home. That's why fourth house is also immigration house. Is the house when we change the place to call home. And it might be that you will be busy with the documents for immigration or for travel, or it might be that you will be actually acquiring and getting news that you got a citizenship, a new passport, or a new residence permit, sort of things. Or actually like moving, let's say, stop renting one apartment and renting out another one. So there might be some actions happening around your fourth house. Now let's talk about one of the important things happening in September about eclipse. On 18th of September, we have full moon lunar eclipse in your travel house, 9th house of your chart, that rules all related things, travel and foreign, all the people foreign and even language. And also 9th house is all about education too. Now, this eclipse will happen at 25 degrees, meaning those of you who are born around 17th of July, plus or minus 5 days, will be affected the most. And because it's a full moon lunar eclipse, it's something bringing to conclusion, or something to clarify, to put your attention on, so you will deal with the situation immediately. Now, I will have a whole separate video on this eclipse because it's a huge one. I will talk more deeper there, but here I would like to mention a couple of things. Now, this full moon lunar eclipse will happen in conjunction, together, meaning hand in hand with Neptune, ruler of this eclipse. Now, Neptune is the planet of, imagination and planet of magic, and also planet of illusions and delusions, and also planet related to fog, which whatever it touches makes it unclear, very hard to see through things. That's why, and in general, like eclipse time in astrology is the time when you should not act upon anything that will be happening in your life. I know it will be hard because during eclipses, it's such a period when you get some news, pretty urgent, pretty sharp, something very direct, and something that changes your life drastically, like 180 degrees. But the thing is that with eclipses time, you may react but not act. Better for eclipse to settle down, and it needs time to settle down because it will bring all the dust in the universe, so nothing will be visible, nothing will be understandable, and you will have this urge to make decision. But I advise you to pause, to really try to stop and to make the final decision only by November, because in October, as you remember when I said in the beginning of this video, that we have another eclipse. Now, better to have this eclipse to bring all the news, and afterwards you might decide what to do with your situation there, or a person or whatever is there actually brought by eclipse into your life. Now, eclipses, they have 10 times power than ordinary, let's say, full moons. So it's not just a full moon, it's a 10 times stronger full moon, and that's why it has broader reach in terms of time. This eclipse's news might have been already in your life. You've got them already by the end of July or by the end of August. Or if it's not September, like if you think that September was quiet and all sweet, then it might be happening in October, by the end of October or November. Because eclipses, they have that much power and influence over almost like a couple of months. So 2 months before and 2 months after, it's still the period of eclipse that they will be bringing the news, that it will be bringing news into your life and changing it. Now, that eclipse will receive a very jarring aspect, very hard aspect from Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is in general a very happy planet, a planet of luck and happiness in astrology, and it's a luck planet. Now, Jupiter will be situated in your house of past, very private house, because 12th house is all about our privacy. It's all about what we do behind the doors, what we don't show to the world, and even those things that we don't know about ourselves and about our past, and even about our enemies. Let's say it's a hidden enemies house, and also it's our subconscious mind house, and one of the spiritual houses, like let's say, especially if you're interested in astrology and all things related to spirituality and esoterics, everything is here in the 12th house. Now, Jupiter is transiting your 12th house, granting you broader reach and access in all those things. Giving you the chance to tap into your subconscious mind, my dear Cancers. This time until next year, July, is the perfect time for you to meditate. Let's say to meditate, of course, anytime is good, but now Jupiter is there, and Jupiter will, give you all the power and easier, let's say, access to those things, to understanding of meditation, to understanding of how world works. Now, but Jupiter making that, let's say, very hard aspect to that eclipse from your 12th house signifies something related, to travel, because eclipse is happening in your travel house and Jupiter is in your 12th house. 12th house is also all, related to lands which are far away. Also about far travels. Seems like wherever you set your travel goal around this eclipse, it might become true, meaning like, accomplishing, you are traveling somewhere or immigrating somewhere, but at the same time, there might be some hurdles around this eclipse. Might be something off there. For example, either it's a hotel, which is not as you expected, either something wrong with the tickets or dates. So, double check around this, your travel itinerary, let's say. And, Jupiter naturally rules your house of work in your chart. And it seems like if you are traveling because of work, then I would actually advise you to postpone this travel, this business travel. It might not be as enjoyable as it could be, and better to do it other times. And for some of you guys, it might be about your health situation. Because of health, maybe you found a good doctor, a good specialist in the area, and who's a foreigner somewhere in a foreign country, and you will have to travel there by this eclipse. Seems like this eclipse might bring this kind of news that you will have to travel for some sort of cure or some sort of relaxation also, because 12th house is not only like a it's also about the health, 12th house, and it seems like, especially if you need if you have planned or unplanned also surgeries, also it might be happening. Either you are going somewhere else to do that, especially for inland, or either there will be a doctor invited from abroad to do that surgery, or you might be yourself taking initiative and actually consulting with specialists somewhere far, abroad, let's say. And 12th house, where Jupiter will be making that hard angle, it's also all about, retreats. It might be not because of health. Maybe you're just traveling, let's say, to get some rest, because 12th house is the private house, as I said, and it's a rest house where we finally, inhale deep and exhale deeper, and we rest. And wherever you go, it seems like we'll be near nature, near water, better, and near sea. And it might be as simple as a cold weather, during this eclipse, during your travels also. But I would like to mention that around this eclipse, heavy planets, like karmic planets, slow-moving planets, will be very supportive of that eclipse. They will make a grand trine there. But I'll talk about it more deeper in the separate video, so stay tuned and don't miss it. But Pluto and Uranus, those two planets, they will be supporting you from your 7th house and 11th house. Whoever you will be traveling with seems like will be very supportive of you. And either it's friends, either it's your spouse or your business partner. Anyhow, universe has your back, my dear Cancers. No worries on that. Anyhow, the outcome of this eclipse, I feel, will be positive. So have a lot of patience and remember to act much later than the things will be happening in your life. And also in 9th house, this eclipse will be happening is all about education. For some of you, if you're at that age, it might be, the news about your scholarship or your acceptance letter, let's say. But in this case, it might be that the news you won't like. For example, you might not be accepted to a university that you plan to study, especially if it's a foreign university. And for some of you, it might be that let's say you are graduating, you're finishing your studies, or if this was the time for you to defend your thesis, there will be another time to do it in a better way. Seems like it might get postponed or something might go wrong there. And for some of you guys, it might be about legal affairs, some sort of legal case, If you're in the process, let's say, of a divorce or anything else, actually any process, legal process, then this eclipse might not bring, as expected outcome, actually, as you wanted. Don't be, let's say, saddened on that, because whatever will be happening, the karmic planets will have the support. So it seems like everyone will get what they deserve. and you will, let's say, will have the understanding of that much later, that anyhow the planets are supportive of the decision of the universe. My dear cancers. Now for you guys who are writers and researchers, that you're writing something like a book or an article or research, again, around this eclipse, something might be off with your publishing house or with your editor, or some you might be you might need to rewrite some parts, to check with your editor again, or even change actually the publishing house. Something might be like, this eclipse will be bringing related to your book or a work that you want to publish. Now let's talk about Uranus that I mentioned briefly in the beginning. This will be another planet that will set the tone for the upcoming half year, my dear cancers. Now, Uranus went retrograde on 1st of September, and this is a heavy karmic planet because it's moving slow. And Uranus, it affects us more on the subconscious level, not necessarily materialistic, like materializing immediately now, but something changing within us, giving growth, and it's a sort of a background tape sort of thing, time to time popping up in our mind, thinking something. It's more like a mental, spiritual growth, and it went retrograde, meaning slowing down, until 30th of January 2025. Now, for the next 5 months, it will retrograde your 11th house. Now, 11th house is all about our friendship and our bigger society, what part of society we are, let's say what group of people we are part of, who our friends are, and our, let's say, 11th house is also our wishes. It's a future house. What we have as wish in our heart for our future, let's say, what kind of future we see for ourselves, what kind of vision, what kind of picture we see as a future. And 11th house is also house of internet, and it seems like you might be quite a lot of time thinking around maybe your social activity, like online activity. Social media is here, like popularity is here. You might be thinking quite a lot of like a time of ways, maybe like starting social media page or vice versa, closing it during retrograde and taking a pause, let's say. 11th house is also house of harvesting results. Like whatever you've done for the past years, what is the result now? And 11th house is expansion house, and Uranus is expanding your 11th house in terms of your spirituality, in terms of your mentality. And you will have quite a lot of deja vu moments because Uranus went retrograde exactly the same period from 1st of September, from September until January last year, the same period. You might have this kind of, moments when you will catch yourself on the thought that, this already happened, this has happened before, and this kind of situation, I'm reliving it again, sort of thing might happen, during these 5 months until it is retrograding. And being in the 11th house, it might be bringing back some friendships into your life. Some friends might be reaching out to you, or you might be reaching to those friends that you've communicated before. Or it might be, let's say, the same group of people. You might be joining the clubs and some social circles that you've been part before. And also 11th house is all about social events and shows, like big shows. You might be attending those shows again too. And it's more of again, as I said, it's more of a spiritual level growth. So it's happening in your head only. You might not be telling everything, it's not, it doesn't need to be verbalized. It is just something going on in our head. By the end of September, 22nd of September, we have Sun moving into your 4th house. Sun is all about, it's our power, and it's the giver of life, and the light of the universe will move into your 4th house. Remember in the beginning, I said Mercury will move into your 4th house, and you will get all busy with your family by the end of September. When Sun moves into your 4th house, it's even more activates that trend. So by the end of September, your attention will switch into your living situation, with whom you live, your parents, especially mother, your family, your siblings. Or for some of you, it might be you will switch your attention to real estate that you want to buy or sell. Or for some of you, it might be about documents of immigrating somewhere. Now, 23rd of September, we have Venus, planet of love and beauty, moving into your fifth house. Now, this is one of the amazing placements to Venus, to host Venus. And, by the end of September, seems like you will be enjoying dating period, second dating period with your sweetheart, because fifth house is all about romance. It's all about true love house. And even if you marry, this will be the time to enjoy each other. And if you're single, this is especially for you guys, my dear lovely Cancers. You might meet someone new and someone special who will warm your heart in this autumn. And Venus in the fifth house might give you a sort of new meetings, new story of falling in love, let's say, and dating things. And for some of you, it might be about kids. Fifth house might give you all things related children. Even if you have children and if you are in a journey of pregnancy, then by the end of September, you will fully enjoy your motherhood status. And for some of you, it might be all about business. You might be busy starting your business or developing it further, or trying to develop it and expand the reach of your business, whether it's a marketing or whatever. It seems like you will be busy and enjoying most of all, because Venus is all about enjoyment. It's all about love. It's all about our heart, where it goes, and you might be quite like enjoying and taking time building your business, my dear Cancers. Now, this was your horoscope for September. I wish you amazing September. It's all about our energies, positive energies, and about our attitude. If we want September to be brilliant, it will be, no matter what, believe me. And planets and universe will support you. So stay on the positive side, my dear Cancers. And stay tuned. And don't forget to listen for your rising sign and moon sign too, to get the fuller picture of the month. Now, stay tuned for the upcoming video of the eclipse. Love you all. Bye-bye.